Next up on our agenda, we have Igor Płusa representing Game Lounge. And the topic here is Metaverse as a tool to re-establish social life and become financially independent. Just to give you a little background, Igor is an experienced blockchain advisor with years of expertise as a marketing manager, blockchain enthusiast, of course, who started as a small investor now. He's a true believer that the blockchain will be one of the technologies of the future that can redefine everyday lives of people. Igor, join me on the stage and let's welcome Igor with a round of applause. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And thank you all for coming here to hear my speech, as I think the lunch break is still on, so it's a tough choice between the food in the VIP room and some guy talking about the metaverse. So thank you for coming here. As said before, the topic of my presentation is Metaverse as a tool to re-establish social life and become financially independent. That's a lot of fancy words, but I will try to keep it simple and stick to the topic as much as possible. I'm one of the co-founders, one of the authors of the idea of Game Launch. We are a Metaverse project, but not yet another Metaverse project, as I tell everyone. And in a moment, I will tell you more about this. But first, let's focus on the problem itself. So what are the problems that we are trying to solve or mitigate with Metaverse? The global market instability. When I was preparing this presentation, the situation was even much better than right now, because right now the markets are volatile, so much more volatile than they were like 2 weeks ago. And this is one of the issues that we are trying to alleviate here. Reduced social life because of the obvious pandemic reasons that have appeared in last years. It has been, I think, very problematic for each of us since from one day to another we were basically denied of one of the most basic needs, the social interaction with other people. I think I will not be mistaken if I say that each person here has experienced it in a rather unpleasant way. And yet again, this is something that we can help with. Remote work, or let's say remote life, in general, it's becoming more and more popular. The word is becoming smaller with each day, and this is also something that we can tackle. So what's the solution for all that stuff, for all those problems? The answer, actually, in my opinion, is very simple, and it's happening thanks to many visionaries who are already working on it. And this answer is the Metaverse. But the Metaverse built using blockchain technology. Ever since a few months ago, Mark Zuckerberg moved into this meta space, everyone is crazy about this word. But is it really the beginning of the idea of Metaverse? No, it's not. Metaverse has been present in the online, in the digital world for many, many years already. You can think of projects such as Second Life that came to life, I think, almost 20 years ago. But there were other projects like Inwards or different stuff that although they have a user base, they were not widely successful. Why did it happen? There is like a confluence of many different reasons for that. And in our opinion, I think we are at a very specific point of time where like many technological pieces are coming together to allow us to actually create this metaverse. And this is not an accident that so many companies are moving into this sphere right now. Because one of the main problems with such projects before the blockchain came, in our opinion, as we identified it, is the problem of ownership. Because if you're basically just running around some virtual world with no real value to you, then you don't really care much about it. You don't feel connected to it. Why traditional like MMORPG games were far more successful than this, let's say, pre-metaverses, such as Second Life? Because people felt the value of the stuff they get within this virtual worlds. You can get something unique, you can get something epic, legendary, that no other player has. You have this feeling of being someone unique, having something worth a lot that you can show off. And this is why the blockchain technology was like one of the missing pieces for this metaverse to be successful. Thanks to the whole NFT technology, it's much easier, it's possible right now to give the users of different metaverses, many different metaverses, the real feeling of an ownership. You can own basically anything, and you know that this is yours, you know it's undeniable, you have a confirmation with a specific NFT, you know this is your unique item. It's not a scam, it's a legit, original piece of something that you, as the only person, or one of the few people, actually really can own. And we have many metaverses right now popping up. But when we were brainstorming with my friends, with our team at the Game Launch, we have identified a few problems, like conceptual problems with many metaverses that are being created. If you take a look at the whole metaverse business right now, at all those different projects, you will find many common points that connect all of them. I think I will not be mistaken if I say that like 90% of those metaverses right now are those huge open space sandbox type, let's say, games, where you can run around, roam around some virtual land, own stuff, you can build stuff, you can customize the whole world, which is really exciting. I personally love the idea, but I have few problems with that idea. Those big open space worlds, they consume time to move from point A to point B, to customize all that stuff. And although that's great, I personally would love to do it, but I don't have time for it. And I think that's the problem with many casual people. Because at this point, we have to answer a question. When Mark Zuckerberg announced Meta, what is his plan? Is he planning to create a metaverse for gamers? Is he planning to create a metaverse for players? No, they are not there. They are already there. They are already in the virtual world. They might not be in a metaverse per se, but they are playing MMO games, which are basically the same. You're running through some virtual world, doing quests, customizing, owning stuff. So why bother creating a new metaverse for the players, for gamers? They will not be interested in that. Why would they explore a virtual representation of, let's say, Warsaw, or a city similar to Warsaw, if they are not doing this in the real world? I myself, I don't have 3 hours of time in my life, like on a regular day, to walk around my city and just take pleasure from this. I'd love to, but I don't have that possibility. So instead of creating such large open space worlds for the players. Maybe we should focus on something on a smaller scale with a more lifelike experience for the people, not gamers, but regular people. Because what Mark Zuckerberg wants to achieve, he doesn't want to create this metaverse for players. He is creating it for the users of Facebook, meaning regular people. And now we can answer a question, are those regular casual users of Facebook going to enter a metaverse that is looking like yet another game? Well, I think not. I think they are not looking for some fancy, colorful stuff to spend 3 hours roaming on around those green hills of metaverse. What is much more interesting possibility to them is a lifelike experience within the metaverse. So that, for example, if you have friends, you are in Warsaw, you have friends in Hong Kong, you actually don't want to spend this time, waste this time by running around. Instead, you can invite them to a much smaller space and spend actual time together, as if you went to a bar, which is physically impossible because you're in two different places of the world. But you can do it in the metaverse. And this is something that we are doing at Game Launch. We are basically giving players, the people, the possibility to own a small place within the metaverse, in which, when you have, for example, like 30 minutes or 1 hour of free time, you can just hop in, log into the metaverse, invite your friends to your room, which can resemble a bar that is full of different bar and board games, such as pool, bowling, darts, for example, and have a feeling of being with those people who are important to you together. If you can't do it physically, then you can do it in the metaverse. And this is something, this, in our opinion, can be an actual added value. And this is something that can attract casual people into the metaverse. So the features, owning, playing, and earning. But those are just like on their own. They don't mean much. But if you combine all that together in a kind of this social platform that your room, your place in the metaverse can become, this is something that can actually work because you have this feeling of ownership. So you care about the stuff that you have. You can boast, you can show off your NFT collection. If you're crazy about collecting NFTs, you're not crazy for it because you just want to store it on your wallet. You want to show it off. You want people to see it so that if you invite them to your place, they can see that stuff that you own, and you want to brag about it. Once they come, you have a quick chat, you can have a virtual drink in the metaverse, and as if you met with your friends in a bar, you can just go over to, for example, this pool table and play a game of pool with them to have fun together. And what's an additional value to that is that while doing so, you can also actually earn money. So who wouldn't like to go to a pool bar and instead of paying them for playing pool, be paid for playing pool at the table, at the bar? Here are some of examples how it may look, because this is the full vision that I have just described. This is something that we are trying to achieve here by creating this feeling of a lifelike experience in the metaverse, instead of giving people yet another game, which is not the target, because you do not want to introduce gamers to the metaverse, because they are already there. Instead of that, you want to attract casual people. And if we assume that Metaverse, as we do, as we believe, is the future, and that it's going to actually work, and people using Facebook, Meta, etc., and all the Metaverse projects are going to move there. The next thing that is going to come into Metaverse is obviously advertising. This will be one of the marketing and advertising in Metaverse will become one of the most important aspects and one of the motors that will actually move this idea forward. So that once it is proven that this new kind of online marketing in the Metaverse is working, it's already happening, yes? Once it's proven it's working, it will become the next big thing. And what you want to do here is to create the best possible platform for this online advertising and marketing. And this is yet another advantage of more closed personal space in the Metaverse over the open world metaverses. Why is that? Very simple example. We are here yesterday, today, at an exhibition, which is a closed space. We are walking around, visiting different booths. There is a lot of advertising in all those rooms, and we are actually absorbing those advertisements. We are interested in it, we are noticing it, we are seeing it, we get the information, and it's actually working on us, yes? In 3 or 4 hours, we will walk out of this building. We'll go into our cars, start driving through Warsaw to get to our homes. And while doing that, we will pass by like 1,000 of advertisements. 90% of them will be missed. We will not notice them. We will have no idea what are they about. And this is the same case in the Metaverse. Because if you have a closed space with a narrow focus, it's much easier to actually target the audience and to make the marketing campaign successful. Whereas in an open world Metaverse, it might look really fancy with all those buildings, billboards, flashlights, neons in the Metaverse. It might look really great in all of the trailers and pictures. But let's answer a question. Adding to what I said before. If we don't have time in the real world to walk around the city and notice all this advertisement that we are being bombarded with, are we going to do this in the Metaverse? Of course we are not. And this is why, in our opinion, the open world sandbox advertising within the Metaverse will be similarly successful to reach to casual, regular people in the real world, just as in the Metaverse. So it will be much more efficient to create this personalized, targeted marketing campaigns within closed spaces than just bombard people with even more advertising in the Metaverse. We don't like it in the real world. We won't like it in the Metaverse as well. And I think that's all I wanted to say. I'd like to invite you also to our stand. We are just outside the entrance, so once you walk out, you can see our stand. If you want to have a chat, if you want to talk a bit more about the idea of Metaverse, then I'm up for it, because I myself love this topic, and I truly believe that this is the next big thing. The whole team of Game Launch we are enthusiasts of Metaverse. We love the concept, and we are open to discuss it with you. So you're welcome to come. Thank you very much.